Look around you. The sky, the sea, your favorite pair of jeans, the logo of half the world's corporations. The color blue is everywhere. It's the color of calm, of trust, of the infinite. But what if I told you that for almost all of human history, not in our language, not in our art, not in our consciousness, how could a color that dominates our planet be the last one humanity ever saw? The story of blue is not a simple lesson in optics. It's an enigma involving Egyptian gods, obsessive alchemists, and a bizarre quirk of our own brains. Prepare yourself, because we are about to unravel the mystery of the color that took millennia to discover. Our investigation begins with a glaring absence. If you analyze ancient texts from the world's greatest civilizations, Homer's Odyssey, the Hindu Vedas, even the oldest versions of the Bible, you will find detailed descriptions of white. Homer famously describes the sea as wind-dark. But blue, honey is described. The sky is often described as bronze or simply has no color at all. For centuries, scholars believed the ancient Greeks were somehow colorblind to blue. But the truth, it's not that they couldn't see blue. It's that they had no word for it. And science shows us something shocking. If you don't have a word for something, your brain has immense difficulty processing it as a distinct category. The blue was there, in the sky, but it was just a variation of dark or light, a visual noise without a name. So, who were the first to invent blue? The honor belongs to the ancient Egyptians, and the reason was purely divine. They were obsessed with a semi-precious stone, lapis lazuli, which they imported at great cost from what is now Afghanistan. The stone, with its deep blue and flecks of gold, was associated with the gods, but it was too rare and expensive to be used on a large scale. So, around 2200 BC, Egyptian alchemists made one of history's greatest chemical breakthroughs. They mixed sand, copper, and an alkali, heated the mixture to over 800 degrees Celsius, and created the world's first synthetic pigment. Egyptian blue. They used it on tombs, sarcophagi, and famously, on the mask of the Egyptians didn't just create a pigment. They gave the color blue a name and a divine status, forever inserting it into human consciousness. Even with the Egyptian invention, blue remained incredibly rare and expensive for millennia. The secret to making Egyptian blue was lost with the fall of the Roman Empire, and Europe plunged into a chromatic dark age. Blue was often the color of barbarians and the poor. That all changed in the 12th century, thanks to a religious marketing decision. The Catholic Church, in an effort to associate the Virgin Mary with royalty and divinity, they used the ultra-expensive ultramarine. Suddenly, blue became the color of holiness, humility, and virtue. Renaissance artists like Michelangelo and Titian would bankrupt their patrons to get a few grams of ultramarine. It was a symbol of status, power, and faith. While the elite paid fortunes for ultramarine, another blue revolution was happening. Indigo, a dye extracted from a plant, produced a deep. India guarded the secret of its cultivation, creating a trade empire. Indigo became the dye that colored the uniforms of armies, the sails of ships, and eventually, the world's most iconic work garment, blue jeans. The color that was once for gods and kings now became the color of the people, which are blue because of a trick of the light. The relentless pursuit of blue drove global trade, exploration, and even slavery. But the greatest mystery of blue isn't in history. It's in nature. Think about it. Aside from the sky and the sea. Why? Because nature almost never evolved to create a true blue pigment. Most of the blues we see on butterflies or birds don't come from pigments, but from microscopic structures on their wings or feathers that manipulate light to reflect only the blue wavelength. It's an optical illusion, a marvel of natural engineering. Blue is so rare that when it does appear, it feels magical. In 1802, a French chemist created cobalt blue. This biological rarity may be the fundamental reason why it took us so long to name it, and why we continue to associate it with things that are beyond our grasp, like the heavens, the sea. Today, we live in a world saturated with blue. In 1937, Phthalo blue, and in 2009, scientists accidentally discovered the first new blue pigment in 200 years. YIN blue. We are still hunting for the perfect blue. The color that began as a ghost in our vocabulary now dominates our digital world, our brands, and our culture. It is the color of trust, stability, and technology. Blue has become the default color of our time. The journey of blue, from an invisible color to a symbol of divinity, royalty, and finally, it shows us how language shapes our perception, how necessity drives innovation, and how a single color can tell the entire story of humanity. Now that you know the secret history of the color blue, what's your favorite color? And what story do you think it hides? And if you enjoyed uncovering the mysteries hidden in the most common things, subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell, because there's a universe of secret histories waiting to be discovered. Until next time.